Feel free to say what's up in the chat. Let's get everybody talking and hanging out. You guys are all part of the Cool Kids Club, and I'm so excited to be hanging out with you guys today. So fun to see you all. Today, as you know, we're going to start transitioning into the Offer Creator Playbooks, which is going to be a lot of fun. We were planning this week to be doing 2 sessions about Offer Creator Playbooks, and then we kind of slid in the white label webinar with McCall because she had it already, and we wanted to share it. How many of you guys have had a chance to think about the white label webinar and just get excited by that? Hopefully, you're all fired up about it. They're still working on getting all the files, but they will all be in the members area really soon for you guys too, which is really cool. So I'm glad we were able to get that one to you guys, and it's gonna be fun. So today the game plan is to talk about offers and offer creators and things like that. Again, we're gonna be breaking these calls into two, just because I like to spend the first call. They tease me internally like this, like story time with Russell. And so but the reason why I do, in case you're wondering, and you'll get deeper into this as you learn more about sales and persuasion and stuff like that. Like if I just give you like, here's the tactic, it's crazy. Most people will never do anything with the tactic ever. But if I can get you the belief in it, understand the strategy behind like all those kind of things, and then I give you the tactic, those are the people that have the most success. Okay. And I've been doing this now 25 years. And so I like doing this call again. Today will be again story time with Russell, but more so than that, because it's going to give you the foundational things you need to know and to understand to really be successful with offers. So I can be like, oh, here's the structure. All you gotta do, go do that. And you'll know tactically how to do it. But if you're not bought in strategically and at a belief level, then people aren't successful. I've done this long enough to know that that's how it works. And so today should be fun. We're gonna have a hangout. We're gonna talk about some cool things. Hopefully, I'll break some false beliefs, plant some seeds of beliefs in your mind, and help you just get really, really excited about offers and offer creation, things like that. So I'm curious for all you guys here right now. Again, we've got live, we're about 400 people live right now, and more are logging in, which is really exciting. So, which is cool, like, especially like, the actual launch was, man, almost a month ago. And it's fun to see you guys all still actively showing up. I know a lot of people watch the replays, but you guys are here live, which gets me fired up. You guys are the winners who do that. So glad you guys are here for that. Okay, so my question for you before we dive in this, how many of you guys currently already have an offer? If you already have an offer, type a one in the comment in the chat. If you don't have an offer yet, type in two. I want to see the ones and the twos, kind of where we are at with everybody. Okay, a lot of ones, a lot of twos. Now more twos coming in. Half, going back and forth. One, two, one, two. Okay, very cool. Now, for those of you guys who do have an offer, I want to know how many of you have an offer that's crushing it, where you're just like, I'm making money hand over fist. It's the best thing in the world. If that's you and you're killing with your offer, type in an A. And if you have an offer and it's like, type in a B. I want some A's and some B's here. A's, my offer's crushing it. It's the greatest thing ever. B, it's not quite crushing it yet, but I wanted to, but I can't quite get it to. Okay. All right. Interesting. A lot of B's, mostly B's. A couple A's popping in and out, but for the most part, B's. Okay, cool. That's why today's gonna be so important, because there's a difference between offers that work and offers that don't work. Offers that crush and ones that don't. And there's a lot of strategic stuff. And so today, that's the other goal, is really to go through those things so that if you have an offer that's not working, like understanding why it's not working and what to tweak and what to change and how to really increase the value of the offer so that people want to buy it. And so that'll be helpful for you guys. And then those who don't have an offer yet, we're going to give you some foundational stuff so you see why it's so important and why you should be doing it and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So very cool. Oh, someone said I sold 2 offers in affiliate. Yeah, congratulations. My offer would crush it if I could launch it. All right, we're gonna get these things launched in there. Very, very cool. And we got everybody's AI assistants in here in the chats. I tell you what, guys, AI assistants are going to replace your presence here today. So I'm glad you guys are here hanging out. Okay, before I jump in 100% and start diving into stuff I want to share, I did want to pull up the, let's see, I'm going to go back a slide here. This is the Offerlab certification members area. Hopefully, you guys all have access to here, and a lot of cool things in here. I just want to point out one thing, because I wish I could spend the next 5 hours with you guys on all the things about creating an offer, how to create a framework, how to structure the framework, how to tell your stories in a way that get people excited and engaged, all kind of stuff, how to actually build a funnel inside a ClickFunnels so you can use it, so you can put it in. Like, unfortunately, we don't have the time for that. But the good news is, I did a course that we sold for $500. You guys all got for free, called Course Secrets. And this one right here, this is for those who don't have an offer yet, or an offer that's not working. I would highly, highly recommend going through Course Secrets. Even if you're not creating a course, if you're creating a membership site or an ebook or anything, because all of the strategy I teach in Course Secrets are the exact same things that I do for any kind of offer. And so again, this is a 6-week course. You guys can start going through it. And I would just go through these sessions, and it's going to teach you like like how to create again, how to create a framework, doing your framework hypothesis and make sure it's actually working, then and how to test it, right? Talking about um, again, finding your hot market, like what's the market you should be in? How do you teach the frameworks? How do you record the content? How do you build a membership site? How do you create the sales funnel? How to drive traffic? All those things are covered here. So the deep dive in actually creating offers, I would recommend going through here. Again, you guys have it as part of your certification program. It's a gift we gave you because I knew that for any of you guys who don't have an offer yet, if you had core secrets to give you the ability, if you really understand it, how to create offers very, very rapidly, very, very quickly. So make sure you guys are taking advantage of that because it's something that I think again we put it in there strategically because I think it's such so important for you guys. So yes, some of you guys think Core Secrets is so helpful. Um, cool. All right, so make sure you jump into Core Secrets, and that's your homework assignment over the next couple of days before our next session. And start going through that, start understanding, because it'll help you really build the right foundation to build a really good offer. Okay, so today's training though is I want to again I'm going to talk about some fun things I think will be good. But this is for people who who have an offer, they want to create an offer, right? And so P.T. Barnum wrote a book back in the day called The Art of Money Getting, which is a really, really cool book. But I love the title even more, The Art of Money Getting. And when I think about like what is the art of money getting, it's the art of creating something, creating an offer that people will give you money for, right? And a business is the art of money getting. How do you get money, right? And so whenever I think about offers, I think about the art of money getting. And I'm going to show you guys a clip from one of our funnel hacking lives. Where I did a presentation where I called, learning how to create an offer the right way, the art of money getting. But that's really what it is. Like this skill set, if you can learn and master how to create an offer, like it's the most, like it's just one of the most valuable skill sets you can possibly have. The person in every market who wins is the person who makes the most offers. Okay, it happens in every single industry. People always ask me, Russell, how did you build the biggest business in this industry? It's like because I make a lot of offers. I'd say I've made more offers than anybody else that you would know in the internet marketing world, right? And not all my offers work. Some are good, some are bad, but I'm constantly creating offers and putting offers out there. And this one things that a lot of people they spend so much time like trying to make an offer and they're worried and they spend months or years trying to create the perfect offer and then they finally put it out there, nobody buys. It's like instead put a lot of offers out there. And when you start doing that, you're gonna find out what things people resonate with, what they like, what they don't like. Like it's important to get good at at testing and iterating, putting things out there. And Offerlab is a cool platform because you can test an offer, put it on the platform. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, cool. It's on the platform. It'll continue to sell forever, right? Because it's on the platform. People can keep buying it, keep promoting it. But then it's like create another, keep doing it until you find the offer that's going to work for you. Some of you have probably heard in the ClickFunnels world, we have a mantra that says you're one funnel away, right? And for us, it's like go create a funnel and then launch it. If it doesn't work, try another one and keep creating a funnel until you find the one that's your one funnel away. And the same thing is true with offers. Like you got to put a lot of offers out there, and not all of them are going to work. But when you get the right ones, it like one offer can change everything. Gary Halbert once said, he said, one idea properly exploited is worth more than 10 lifetimes of hard work. I feel like with offers, like I look at who knows, 600 offers I've launched in my lifetime, and I would say 5 of them have made me the majority of the money, right? But if I didn't launch the other ones, I never would have got to the ones that, the $1 billion offers and the $100 million offers and the $10 million offers, right? Like it comes with like repetition and practice. And so this is a skill set that you guys should be learning and getting better and better at. There's a really cool quote I want to share with you guys. Let me come back to the slides here. Um, and some of you guys may have heard this quote before, but it's about Paul McCartney and John Lennon. So back in the day, they wanted a swimming pool, right? And obviously the swimming pools cost a lot of money to put in. And so Paul McCartney turned to John Lennon and said, "Hey, let's write ourselves a swimming pool." They didn't say, "Let's go buy a swimming pool. Let's go raise some money." Like, let's write ourselves a swimming pool. And they sat down and they wrote the words to the song. I believe it was "Love, Love Me Do." They launched the song and went out there. The royalties from the song came, and then from the royalties, they built their swimming pool. Okay. And that's what this is all about. Like, how do you create an offer that's going to pay for your lifestyle, pay for the things you want, right? For me, it's like a lot of you guys know I collect old books, and the old books I like to collect are not inexpensive. In fact, I just wired somebody $100,000 yesterday for one magazine. It is one that's like impossible to get. There's only one on the planet. And it's like, man, that's a lot of money. But like, I didn't just like wire the money for myself. I'm like, what can I create? What can I do? What kind of offer can I put out there that will pay for that, so I don't have to actually pay for it, right? So we put together an offer, and that's what paid for that, and pays for these other acquisitions and things I want to do, right? I don't pay with things with cash. I pay with them with offers, right? I create an offer, the offer finances and funds the thing I want, and then I buy it with the money that comes from that. One of my favorite stories related to this is actually, you guys know my first mentor is Dan Kennedy, and Dan, he's not politically correct. He was raised in a time when that mattered, and nowadays he doubles down even more because it drives him crazy. But he calls his audience his herd, right? He's a he raced horses and all sorts of stuff. So, but he calls his audience the herd. And for him, he said like anytime I want to get something, he's like if I want to buy this thing, I send the bill to the herd. And by that he means I if I want to buy this thing, let's say it's $1 million thing I want to buy, I'm going to create an offer or a promotion. I'm going to send the bill to the herd. They're going to buy the stuff. I get the money, and then I buy the thing I want, right? And so you start thinking about things differently when you start looking at it through that lens. And so that's how Dan would always do things. Is I want this thing, send the bill to the herd. I want to do this thing, send the bill to the herd. Create an offer, send the bill out to the herd, right? And it's funny because I wasn't in his world during this time, but he told this story at one of the Funnel Hacking Lives. He said that his wife he's married to now, they actually got divorced and got remarried. But he said when they separated and got divorced, in his newsletter to his members, he'd said something about, Carla and I split or whatever it was, I don't know. And he said that he started getting faxes from his members. And one of the members' faxes came, they're like, oh, sorry, but here about da, da. And one fax came in and he read the fax and it said something like, so when are we getting the promotion? And Dan was like, or when are we getting the whatever? And Dan's like, what are you talking about? And the guy messages back. He's like, well, I know that you're not paying for this divorce, so I'm assuming you're creating an offer and sending the bill to the herd. So I'm waiting for like, what's the thing you're going to sell me to cover your divorce? And like that was the joke inside his community after that. I'm just like, yeah, Dan's going to send the bill to the herd, like whatever it is. And so this is like the mindset I want you guys to start adopting, right? Money comes based on value exchange. So you learn to create an offer that's valuable and the exchange it. That's how you get money, right? And unfortunately, the way that the most of the world works is like you have a job, whatever, you collect money and you save it up, and then you try to go buy the thing, buy the vacation, buy the car, buy the house. And that's a way to do it, but it's so much harder because the value you're trading, it's like you're storing it over time in cash and you can buy it versus like, okay, this is the thing I want. Let me reverse engineer what I need to do to actually acquire that or to buy the thing. And then you can go and you can kind of figure it out from there, right? I think in the video I'm going to share with you guys, Myron shares a story about what he did. I'm pretty sure he tells in the video. If not, I'll come back and I'll retell the story. But Myron decided one day he's like, I'm never gonna fly commercial again. And I was like, how are you gonna do that? And again, I think I tell the story, so I won't ruin the punchline. But it has to do with offers, just so you know. So offers are really powerful when you understand how to use them. And um, and so I want to tell some stories just about my journey into this business. 'Cause I know a lot of you guys are at the beginning of the journey. And so I was thinking back, like when I got started, what was it all like? And so I was online trying to figure this whole game out. Again, this is pre-Facebook, pre-MySpace, pre-Friendster. Way back in the day, Google and eBay were the only two domains, only websites that anyone ever knew, and all the rest were just a bunch of garbage stuff, right? And I was trying to figure this game out, and I'm playing a bunch of things. And during the time, I'd built a little list. I was selling a couple products here and there, and I had like a little bit of success, but it was nothing insane, right? And I was going to school. I was wrestling. My wife was working, supporting us, and I had this little business. I probably had at the time maybe 3 or 4 thousand people on my email list, right? And so, again, I'd made, I don't know, maybe $10,000, $15,000 total in the 2 years up to that point, right? And it was really fun though. And I remember Christmas time came, and my wife's 5.5 years older than me, and so when we got married, it was great for me because I didn't have anything, and she had already like she was an adult, she had a couch, and she had stuff, and I didn't have anything. So we got married, like I inherited all her stuff. So I'm like, this is amazing. Like I'm getting married, and I'm inheriting free couches and stuff. And so we got married, and we're in our first house, and that Christmas is coming up, and the couches, again for me, I'm like these couches, like we have a couch. I never had a couch before, my own couch, but she'd had that couch for like 10 years of her life, and she was just like, and she said something one time like, I would love to get a new couch. And I remember we even went to like RC Willie and Ashley Furniture, went to these couch stores, and we'd sit on couches, and they were like, they're so nice. I could tell like that was like the biggest desire she had. If I could just have a couch that wasn't the couch I carried, from 5 different apartments in my whole life growing up. And I remember like wanting to buy her a couch, but I think it was like, I don't know, $3,500, which again for me was almost more money than I made my entire life, right? I was like, oh, I wish I could afford that couch. And so Christmas is coming around, and I was like, man, I wish that I could do something to give my wife, to give her this gift. And then before I even knew the verbiage that you guys now, I didn't know about like writing myself a swimming pool or send the bill to the herd. But I was like, the only way I could actually pay for that is if I sold something to my list. My list again was really, really small. It was, 3,000 people or whatever it was. And so I had this idea. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this promotion. I called it the Grinch offer. I still remember because I had a picture of the Grinch at the top of the sales letter. And it was like his heart grew two sizes that day, right? And then I had the sales letter down the thing, and then what I did is I went and took all the products I'd created in the past and I bundled them together. I made this bundle. First time I was like, you get this product I sell for $47, this one and this one and this one. And I was like, and then I'm doing a special offer, and right now it's $27, and then tomorrow goes to 37. The next day it's 47. Like each day it'll go up by $10 or whatever, right? But I told them in the sales letter, I'm like, the reason why I'm doing this sell is because I want to get my wife this couch. I kind of told the story, and I said, if you guys can help me raise the $3,500 I need, then from that I'll get the couch, and I will send you guys a picture with your name. Like I'll put your names on the card under the Christmas tree, and I'll send you guys a picture of us afterwards. And so that was the promotion. And I remember I sent the email out to the list. Again, 3,000 people see this email. And there's one thing, okay? There's one thing I did that was really, really smart. And what's cool about it is because you guys are using Offerlab, you can all do this. I've shared this story in the past, and most people don't understand how to do it. With Offerlab now, you can do it really easily. But what I did is I had it where somebody would buy my Grinch offer for $27, and then the thank you page is like, hey, if you like this, you can also promote it. Here's a link, go promote it, and I'll pay you commission on it, right? So I sent the email out. Okay, so that's the big aha. I had an affiliate program built into this, okay? And that's what made this whole thing magically work. Okay, so now I send an email out to my list. I'm like, hey, Christmas is coming up. Trying to buy my wife a couch. Create a special offer for you. Go check it out here. It has to do with the Grinch, right? Some email like that. People clicked on it. And I remember sending it before I went to wrestling practice that day. I go to wrestling practice. I come back. And during wrestling practice, I made like $400 or $500. I was like, dang, like this is amazing. Like I might actually make enough money to buy this couch for my wife, right? And then I go to bed that night. By the time I go to bed, maybe it's $600, $700, something like that. And I go to bed and I wake up in the morning, and then I had early morning weights for wrestling. So like, whatever, 5 a.m., I'm heading to the gym, work out, do all this stuff. And this is before I had iPhone, so I can't just check my stats on my phone. But I get back after that, and I don't know, it's 10 or 11 o'clock in the afternoon. I jump online, I check my stats, and we're at like $15,000 in sales. And I was like, wait, what? Like, what is happening? I'm like, how's that even? I was trying to do the math in my head. I'm like, if all 3,000 of my customers bought for $27, like, I couldn't fathom it, right? And then it kept going up, and went from 15,000 to 17,000 to 18, and I was just like, what is happening? And what I didn't know is during the night, one of the people that was on my list, his name was Carl Galetti. I didn't know him at the time. I didn't know who he was, but he was on my list somehow. He went, he bought the offer. He's like, this is a really good offer. He saw the affiliate program. He signed up for it. And then he sent an email out to his list. And his list was huge. And his people all started buying. And then people start coming in. They're like, this is a great offer. And they start promoting it. And when all said and done, during this little campaign of like a 5-day launch campaign, we did over $32,000 in sales, selling this little $27 and $37 offer. And again, this was no upsells, no order form. I didn't know anything about business back then. It was just one product. That was it. And I remember I was telling my wife, I was like, hey, we should go. Like, I'm gonna take you to buy a couch. She's like, we can't afford it. I'm like, well, we kind of can now. And she's like, how? And I was like, well, I showed her the page. I'm like, I put up this page and I sent an email to my list, and I showed her our PayPal account. I'm like, we've got $32,000. And she's like freaking out. She's like, are we going to jail? Is this illegal? What's happening? I was like, I don't think so. Like, I created an offer that people wanted and they gave us money for it. And so we were like so nervous, but I was like, then people started messaging me like, hey, I bought it twice because I want to make sure you get that couch for your wife. Hey, and like all these messages from our customers. And so I was like, okay, all right. So we went down to RC Willey, and I remember we found the dream couch. It was so cool. We brought it back home. I got a picture with her on it, sent an email to all the customer, like, here's you with the couch. You guys, we did it. Thanks so much. And it was my first time experience what that was like. We have an offer that actually worked. Okay. And for me, like at that point, I was like, I am a believer. I want to create a new offer every day. Like I want to have that experience again. So I'm hoping vicariously that I gave you guys that story to help, like, because again, until you have that first time, it's hard to like have something to get that desire, that drive to keep going. For me, after that, I was like, I was addicted. Like I've never done drugs, but I imagine like that's what drug you get the first thing, like, give me some more, give me some more. That's what I felt like. I want some more of this. And so, now 25 years later, I've been obsessed with like creating offers. Like that feeling when it works is so good. And so I'm hoping that vicariously by telling you some of these stories, you get that and you're like, okay, I see the vision. I see how this can work. I want to do that. Okay. Cause that's my goal for you is to not just like hear about this game, but to start playing this game and being part of it because it's so much fun. Okay, so that was my first time ever actually having it. Okay, now fast forward a couple years, like a couple more stories, and then we'll dive into like some structured content for you guys. So that was the Grinch offer. A couple years later, I started growing a team, and I remember I had 5 or 6 employees, and it was weird because like as an entrepreneur, you only get paid like you eat what you kill, right? Like there's no paycheck coming, there's no nothing. Like you have to sell something. You create an offer, you sell it, and you get paid. Like that's the only way entrepreneurs make money. But you start hiring business, I started hiring employees. I remember I hired three or four of my friends, and then we were there working on an offer, and they come to me like, "Hey, so like when do we get paid?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, when you have a job every 2 weeks, you normally get paid." I was like, "Oh, we haven't sold anything yet." They're like, "Yeah, but like you have to pay us." And I was like, "Oh, well that sucks." I was like, "Okay," so like I took some money, like paid them their salaries, and then we went back, and it's like, we're working on this offer, and 2 weeks come, and we haven't launched it yet, and they're like, "Hey, it's time to get paid again." I'm like, "We haven't sold it." Like I couldn't, like I'd never had a like, I'd never really had a real job before. Like I was a wrestler and then jumped into entrepreneurship. So I had never like experienced all the job stuff. And so I was like, this is so confusing. We haven't made any money yet. So I started getting really good. I had to launch an offer really quick to make enough money to pay payroll, right? And then launch another offer. So I got really good at like launching offers to figure out how to be able to pay stuff. And but it put me on this hamster wheel where like it just got really, really hard. And I remember it was coming close to Christmas and I was out of ideas. I didn't have more things I could sell. And I didn't know what to do. And I knew payroll was coming up soon. It was Christmas time, and I was just like, oh, like I'm kind of like I'm in trouble here, right? And I remember vividly at my house, like I went out and I hung up Christmas lights because I couldn't afford to hire somebody. And I remember it was so cold outside. I was on this little ladder, and I had the staple gun, and I'm going up and I'm like stapling these Christmas lights around our house. It's taking forever. And while I was doing that, I was listening my headphones to some audio. This is before a podcast, by the way. So that's how old I am. I was doing this before a podcast. But one of my friends had an event. I was listening to the event recordings, and I remember one of the speakers talking about what they were doing is they were creating these low ticket. They were free DVDs, basically free CDs and free DVD offers back in the day. Those don't work, by the way, very well nowadays. Most people don't have a DVD or CD player. Back in the day, that's what crushed the most. And so he would do these free DVDs and he'd charge $4.95 to ship out the DVD to somebody. And then he's like, and then he would do is he'd call them on the phone afterwards and upgrade them to a $5,000 coaching package. And he was walking through the model, how it worked. And I was like, this is really, really cool. Like, I was like, maybe this is the thing that's going to like, be the next offer that works for us. And luckily, like a year earlier, I had spoken at an event and they had recorded it for me. And so I had this one DVD. So I remember calling my team that night. I was like, hey guys, meet at the office tomorrow. And I was like, just heads up, like, I don't have any money left. Christmas is coming up, payroll's coming, like, but I got one Hail Mary, one idea for an offer that I think could crush. So show up tomorrow and I'll walk you through what it looks like. And so we show up the next day. I was like, all right, we're gonna try to put together an offer. I'm like, this is like this guy, this is what he was doing. We're gonna try to model. It's a free DVD offer. They pay shipping, handling, and then you call those people and you sell them a coaching program. And I was like, I have a DVD of me speaking. So we went and we started burning this DVD and we burned a whole bunch of DVDs. And then we put up an offer on a page. And so I send the email to my customers. I was like, hey guys, here's this free DVD about how I turned $20 in a simple idea to $1 million business. If you want a free DVD, it's a seminar I spoke at. I'll ship it out to you. Just cover the $4.95 shipping. So we sent that out. And that first week got like 800 people who requested the free CD or the free DVD. And again, obviously I didn't make any money on that. Like we're printing them and shipping them and we didn't make any money. But now I had 800 people who we knew raised their hand. They had pulled a credit card out of their wallet, so they're qualified to buy something. And we had their name, address, and phone numbers, right? So then I went to my team. I was like, all right, we're going to call these guys and we're going to make them an offer. And so we started calling, and we didn't know, we had no sales scripts, we had nothing. We just started calling like, hey, did you get the DVD? They're like, yeah, I just watched. Like, awesome. Russell's doing a 3-day event in Boise where he's going to be teaching that stuff, helping you implement. You want to come to it? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, hey, it's $5,500. And I remember during that little window before Christmas, we got 10 people to sign up at $5,500 a piece. So we made $55,000, which was enough to cover Christmas and payroll. And also like now we had a business model that was consistent. And for the next 5 years of our business, that was our model. We had a free DVD offer, and then we call them the back end and sell them something more expensive. And that became the next offer. And it changed everything for me. So like literally that was like the funnel that saved Christmas. That was the offer that saved Christmas. I got a couple more quick stories and then we'll jump into the content. Uh, yeah, because like, again, there's a lot of ways to structure offers, you guys. You have, and you probably look at the stuff I do, right? I have book offers where it's a free book or a $7 book, right? We've got $37 offers, we've got $100 offers, we've got $1,000 offers, I've got $5,000 offers, I got $10,000 offers, I got 25, 50, 150, and a million. So those are the different levels of offers. So like you can create all sorts of offers. It's just testing different things. And there's different people. Like we did an event last month and there was 22 people in the room and I made $1 million offer and 2 people bought it, right? So like that was great. Now, not everyone's going to buy $1 million offer, but there's a percentage of your market who just wants the premium version of whatever it is you got to sell, right? In Offerlab, you can put expensive things on there. There's people I've seen putting in $3,500 offers, $1,000 offers. Like there's more high ticket offers going on Offerlab all the time right now. And what's cool for you, sometimes if you don't want to create a high ticket offer, you can create a front end offer. You can create your own free DVD or your free book or your free $7 report or whatever, and you can upsell somebody else's coaching program. In fact, our next meeting together when we go in, I'm going to be showing you guys all the offer creator playbooks. A lot of them are based on that, where you figure out someone's got a killer offer here and you're going to create an offer that complements and upsells into that, right? So there's, again, I'm sharing these strategies to get the wheels in your head spinning and start thinking, but don't think you have to create all these different offers either. It's like in the offer lab, oh my gosh, someone's got this program, or if let's say there's a program you love, there's a $5,000 coach program you fell in love with, you could get that person and put that offer in offer lab, right? You make a free report or $7 report or $2 report, someone buys, and then one click upsells into their $5,000 thing. Now you can start selling their high end thing by you creating an offer on the front end, right? So there's, again, we'll get deep into all the different playbooks and ideas, but right now I'm just trying to show you there's a lot of different ways to start structuring and start thinking about these offers, right? The Grinch one was me putting together a whole bunch of things and making an irresistible offer. With the offer that saved Christmas was a free DVD to a high end coaching program, right? It's the yin yang of these two different things. The next one I want to share with you guys was actually at the time I built the business up because again we were selling DVDs and calling people on the phone. So I had about 100 employees at the time, and then because of circumstances, actually not tied to that business model at all, but basically we had this continuity business that kind of fell apart. Where basically my whole company collapsed. I had to lay off almost 100 people in one day, which was the worst thing ever. And I remember I was in this big, huge building with call center and everything, and I was trying to get out of the lease, and they wouldn't let me out of the lease, and so basically they were kicking me out. And so I was trying to pull all my stuff out that I needed. We were trying to clean up the office to make it as nice as possible, so we didn't leave the people behind with like our mess. So we spent a week cleaning it all up, and then we got down to the last day where literally like I had to turn the keys in that night, and I had no money. Like we were out of money, everything was gone. I had a handful of employees I still needed to support, and I was like, what do I do? And so that week while I was cleaning out the office, I was like, I got to create an offer, right? I got to write myself a swimming pool. I got to figure out how to save myself once again. And so I sent an email out to my list, got them on a webinar. And I remember sitting in my old office. All the desks were gone. Everything was gone. I was sitting on the carpet with my laptop. I had socks on. I remember my shoes must have been off. I have a vivid vision of that. I wish I would have taken pictures back in the day. But it was just like I was almost in desperation. But I was like, I know how to create offers. And so I created this offer. I did a webinar. At the end of the webinar, I made the offer. It was a $1,000 offer. And from that, I got, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was close to 100 people in it buying that offer. And so on the day that I'm walking out basically on the brink of bankruptcy, lost my entire business, lost everything. I do this one last webinar, and then I lock the doors, I turn the keys in, and I leave. And I'm driving home. By the time I get home, I look at my stats, and at the time I made 30 or 40 sales. I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I can breathe again. I wrote myself a swimming pool, and then over that campaign, ended up over 100 sales. And that was like, again, everything was failing around me, and I created an offer that saved everything. Um, so yeah, this really was ClickFunnels. A good example, ClickFunnels. Like when we launched ClickFunnels, I tried different offers. I launched the first one, it bombed. Second one bombed. Third one bombed. Fourth one bombed. Fifth one bombed. Now most people would have stopped after the first or the second or the third, fourth, fifth, right? But I was like, I know what we have is good. I just got to figure out the right offer that people actually want. So I kept creating another one. And then eventually the sixth offer I came and we put together an offer where basically you get $1,000, you get a course called Funnel Hacks plus 6 months of ClickFunnels for free, plus a bunch of tools. We created that offer, rolled it out to the marketplace, launched it at a live event, closed like half of the room there at a $1,000 offer. And then I did that webinar 70 times selling that same offer. And that offer got me from $0 to $10 million in sales in less than a year. And it was $1,000 offer that we just figured out through trial and error. And as soon as we nailed it, then we could scale it really, really quickly. And then another good example is Offerlab. A lot of you guys don't know the backstory behind Offerlab. We started building it a year and a half ago at Funnel Hacking Live 10. So man, back in, I don't even know when that was, almost a year ago. Maybe, anyway, whatever it was. No, it was in March. So we launched Offerlab there, and we launched the platform. Everyone knew about it, and guess what happened? Nothing. It was like crickets. I'm just like, wait, why is nobody doing this? And I was like, I forgot. I just launched a platform. Platforms don't make money unless there's an offer that gets somebody on the platform. And so 3 or 4 weeks ago, what did we do? We put together an offer thing called the Offerlab certification program. We're going to certify you, and we're going to train you, and then we're going to give you increased commissions and like all the different things, right? And we sat down and figured out what is an offer that's going to be irresistible for people. And when we figured that out, then we did a launch around it, and now boom, Offerlab is off to the races. We've got like 50 or 60,000 people on the platform now. It's growing every single day. Sales are happening, and like all the stuff, right? But it came down to like us creating a really, really good irresistible offer. Okay, I got one last thing I'm gonna do, and then we got a video to watch, which is gonna walk through like some of the core stuff about how to create an offer, okay? So last thing we'll talk about is that the day I told you when I was hanging out the Christmas lights, my business was failing, I didn't know what to do. I called my entire staff in, right? And we came in and I said, okay, we have the DVD offer. Like, what should we sell? Like, what's the next thing we should sell? We needed a $5,000 offer, right? And this is the same thing we do if it's going to be, I need a $1,000 offer. I need a $37 offer. And we got into a room and we basically had a big whiteboard on the wall. I said, okay, what can we include in this offer to make it irresistible? So somebody would be a moron to say no to it. And so we started mapping out things, right? Okay, number one, like, we'll then fly to your house and we'll be at your house. I'm like, yeah, meet at my house. And like, number two, we're gonna build the whole thing for them. Like, we're gonna build it for them. Number three, we're gonna record their free DVD. I'm like, okay, we're like, and we listed everything we could dream of, right? We'll teach them how to get traffic. We're gonna show them this. We're gonna buy them this. And so we just made this board that was insane, right? And we spent like 3 or 4 hours, like, just brainstorming everything possible we could do to make it irresistible for somebody. And you look at the board, you're like, yeah, you'd be a moron to not trade $5,500 for that offer. Like, it's insane, right? But then I looked at the board and I was like, there's some of these things that I probably should think through that, my wife probably is not going to enjoy all these people coming to my house. There's probably not going to. So then you start looking at based on, again, the first thing is like an open brainstorming everything. And the second phase is like, okay, what are my non-negotiables? What am I not willing to do for $5,500? I'm like, yeah, I'm not willing to let them come to my house. I'm not willing to do this. And so start taking things off the board, like the non-negotiables, like this encroaches on my lifestyle. I don't want to do this. Okay. Which is important. Like the very first time you do it, you want to like brainstorm everything possible. Right. And then you start taking away the non-negotiables. Then you look at what's left. And like, hey, would you trade that for $5,500? If you look at that, you're like, yeah, that's a sexy offer. Like, we're always looking at, that's a good offer. Like, we failed. That's a great offer. We failed. And they're like, ooh, that's a sexy offer. We're like, okay, we got something. This is going to be good. And that's what we're always looking for, is that feeling of just like, oh man, like I would buy that. Like, I guarantee, like, that is such a good offer. So that's what I'm thinking through all the time. When I do my free book offers, I spend that time thinking through how do I make this so irresistible you feel like a moron not buying the thing, right? Same thing, I do a $37 offer, $97. When I did my $1 million offer, I'm like, hey, someone's giving us $1 million. Like, what does that got to look like? What is something where like they would see that and like, I feel like a moron by not buying this thing. Like, that's what you want them feeling when they see your offer. Okay. All right. There's some foundational stuff. Does that help you guys so far? Kind of getting excited about offers? Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. What I'm doing right now that is at Funnel Hacking Live International. So this is probably a little over a year ago. I did a whole huge section on this kind of stuff. But I had one section specifically about the framework I use when I'm creating offers. I call it the art of money getting, which I kind of led with earlier. And I'm gonna show you guys this presentation. This is gonna be some more tactical stuff, just thinking through like, how do you make sure the offer is gonna be really good? Like, is this an improvement offer or a new opportunity? Like, what's the, how do I structure my offer? What are the things that I add to the offer stack? How do I increase the value? Like, some of the core things. So we're gonna watch this together. It's about 20, 25 minutes or so. And I'll come back at the end, I'll kind of wrap some stuff. And then next week, when we jump on the next ones, we'll go through the actual individual offer creator playbooks and start getting this strategy inside your guys' minds on how to do those things, okay? So watch this, just sit back like a bag of popcorn, take some notes, and I just want you guys understanding like the things that you're looking for when you are creating a good offer. My guess is for a lot of you guys, you probably have, those who said that, if you guys said you have an A and offers crushing, most of you said B, you got offered that's just not crushing it. And my guess is one of the things you're gonna learn in this video is the reason why. Either you're positioning it as improvement as opposed to new opportunity, your value stack, what you're putting together, it's not sexy enough where they're like, I have to give you my money, or some of the other different principles, okay? So look at through that lens and kind of pay attention and like, what are the things I'm not doing right? Why is my offer a B, not an A? Like, what do I need to change to make this an A offer where it's so irresistible someone has to give me money? And if you haven't created an offer yet, that's fine too. Now you're looking through the lens of like, okay, I'm creating my first offer. Like, what are the things I got to think through? Like, what is the step-by-step process? How do I make sure I position it correctly from the very, very beginning? Does that sound good? Okay. Oh yeah, let's go. Okay. I'm going to queue up the presentation here. Give me a few seconds to make sure I do it correctly. I believe it is the next slide. So with that said, I'm going to launch it. If you can hear the audio when it goes live, type 1 in the comments so I know. If I don't see ones, type in zeros, and then I will stop it and we'll figure out what's working. Hopefully it works first time. So here we go. Now I want to get into like the how do you make money side of this, right? So next thing is called the art of money getting. Now I titled this section the art of money getting for a couple reasons. Number one, P.T. Barnum back in the day wrote a book called The Art of Money Getting, which is one of the coolest book titles ever. I thought he invented that. And then as you guys know, I buy a lot of old books. I kind of nerd out. And I found a book written in like 1820 called The Art of Money Getting that was written like 40, 50 years before P.T. Barnum wrote his. So P.T. Barnum literally saw that title, I think, funnel hacked it, and then copied it for his book. So The Art of Money Getting, that was kind of a cool concept. That's where I got it from. So how do we actually make money? So after we know this is our reason for being, this is the thing we're supposed to do, the next step is that we have to create an offer to give to the people. If we don't create an offer, like we can't, like nothing else starts until there's an offer actually made to the audience, right? That's how things start happening. That's how motion starts happening in the marketplace in the world. And I want to share some stories because a lot of times, I think less so in the funnel hacker community, but the world as a whole, when they hear about offers, they hear about selling stuff, like it's this icky, weird thing that's hard, right? But I want you to understand that offers are the way that you change somebody's life. And I'm not just saying that from me as like, I make offers, I change people's lives. I want to look in from the other side, like because other people were willing to make offers, it changed my life. And up here on this slide, these are my first two mentors. Left-hand side is Mark Joyner, and the right-hand side is Dan Kennedy. These are my first two big mentors when I got into this world. And it's interesting because my wife and I just got married. We got married, we lived in this little duplex of the first year of our life, and I remember during that time my dad bought me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I was like, this is amazing. And so immediately I'm like, we need to go buy a house. And so we went and bought it. We bought our own duplex, we moved into it, and we're there, and I'm trying to figure out how to make money in real estate, and I couldn't figure it out. The house we bought anyway, long story, but we had a duplex and we couldn't get a renter in there, and then we were losing money every single month, and we finally got a renter, and they were horrible. They were like smoking in the basement and lying about it. It was so bad. I was like, I hate real estate. Where are my real estate gurus in here, by the way? Like, it's the worst business. Just kidding, I love it. It's great. No, but for me, I was like, I don't like this. This is really, really hard for me. And I was like, I cannot figure this out. This guy is smoking in our house. My wife's upset. Like, everything's falling apart. I don't think you're supposed to live with your renters typically. That's probably the biggest issue. Anyway, that's probably step one of your course. Like, don't live in the house that you're renting. Yeah, I didn't learn that one. Anyway, so I was like, I want to figure out the internet thing. I started jumping online. And I remember for 18 months, I was studying, I was learning, I was reading, I was listening. We didn't have podcasts back then, but I was buying CDs and listening to the audios and all sorts of stuff. And I wasn't willing to invest, I wasn't willing to buy anything. And I was in this like circular motion where I wasn't progressing. I was trying to figure out how to like have success, but I was kind of in this motion. I remember about that time, there was this guy, and I didn't know who he was at the time, but all of a sudden like 50 people sent emails the same day talking about this guy named Mark Joyner. And Mark Joyner, he's retiring from the internet and all this stuff. And I was like, who's Mark Joyner? Anyone here remember Mark Joyner's farewell package? Anyone here been around that long? 2 of you. This is amazing. I love it. Anyway, so I was a college kid. I'm getting these emails from Mark Joyner. I go to the page. I remember reading this long, like 4,500 page sales letter about this thing called the farewell package. It's like, I'm retiring from internet marketing. I'm putting everything I know into this package, plus all my source code, plus everything. And for $1,000, you can get it. You have to understand at the time, $1,000 that could be $1 billion for like that's how much money $1,000 was for us at the time. I didn't have a job. My wife was working, supporting us. We did not have $1,000. We had no disposable income. Like we were just gotten married. Like it was the worst possible time. And I remember watching this campaign, and Mark was selling these things, and everyone was buying it. They were talking about how great it was, and like this huge thing. And I remember like I wanted to buy it, but I couldn't afford it. I wanted to buy it, I couldn't afford it. I was so stressed out because I figured like this is the thing that would change my life. I could just afford this thing, but I can't afford it. And I watched this campaign for like 3 or 4 months as everyone's selling it. It got to the point where like they started selling out. They were going to close it down. You know, they had like the urgency and scarcity happening. And it was like 2 or 3 days before like they were closing the offer down forever. And I was just like, this is the thing I need. And I remember this guy named Mike Chen was one of the affiliates. He launched this audio you could buy for $20 or something that talked about the farewell package. I bought this audio. It was like 6 hours. It was a 6-hour sales pitch basically of Mike Chen and Mark Joyner talking about this farewell package. So I go and I listen to this 6-hour thing all night. I'm listening to it, knowing that they're about to close card. I'm going to miss out on everything. And I was like, I need this offer. I want this offer so bad. And I remember the next morning, I didn't sleep the whole night. I woke up next morning laying there. Colette woke up next to me, and I was like, I feel like I need to buy Mark Joyner's farewell package. She's like, how much does it cost? I'm like, it's $1,000. She's like, whoa. I'm like, I know. We don't have $1,000. And she's like, do you think this is the thing that'll help you? I was like, I really do. I think it is. Like, she's like, okay, I trust you then. I'm like, what? Are you serious? She's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. We still have $1,000. Like, oh, okay, pick up your phone, call the bank. So we call the bank, like, hey, can we extend our credit limit to $1,000? Yeah, I think we have like a $500 a month credit card, whatever. Like, can we bump it to $1,500? They said yes. I had more credit. I bought the farewell package. It showed up at my house like a week later, and it was the first time I had actually invested in myself to buy something. And I remember going through like listen to every single CD 5 or 6 times. I looked at the source code. I got in the community. I went all in, like played full out, went through the whole entire process. And because Mark Joyner made an offer. He put it out in the world, and I stretched to buy this thing I couldn't afford. I bought it. It literally changed my life forever. In fact, here's some pictures. This is like how poor we were. This is me and Colette cutting our credit cards after we got married because we didn't have any money. But because I made that decision to step into the unknown, like that offer changed my life forever. Okay? Offers are how you change somebody's life forever. You have to be creating offers. Okay? The next time I took an offer, a couple years later, I'd been following Mark Joyner. I launched an internet business, started making a little bit of money, not a lot at this point. I think at the time I was probably making $25,000 to $30,000 a year. I was still going to college, still going to school at the time, but it was real money. It was insane. And all of a sudden I heard about this guy, Dan Kennedy. And everyone kept talking about Dan Kennedy. Like, he's the guy. Like, you want to learn marketing, but Dan Kennedy's the greatest. And so I remember I got a copy on eBay of, it was this course called the $272,000 Platinum Meeting or something from Dan Kennedy. And it was basically a mastermind room, and they recorded them all talking about stuff. So I remember I bought it, I was listening to it, and in the CD set, it was like all the gurus I'd seen online, like Ron LeGrand, and like all the gurus from all the different spaces, they're all in this room with Dan Kennedy, and Dan Kennedy's doing this mastermind, and they're all sharing ideas. And I was like, all the people that I want to, like, that I see out there doing the big things, they're all in this room. Dan Kennedy's in charge of it. They're all in there listening to him, learning from him. Like, I need to get in that room. I got to be in the room where it happens. Like, how do I get into that room? So I called, at the time it was called GKIC. I called GKIC up. I'm like, hey, I want to join the mastermind group. Like, sorry, it's sold out. We have a waiting list for like 3 years, but we'll put your name on the waiting list. I'm like, no, I have to be in this group. Like, no, we don't have room in the waiting list. And I'm like, I need to be in this group. And I kept messaging them and calling them. If you know Dan Kennedy, they don't use email, so I had to like fax them. So I'm faxing all these things. I'm the annoying customer who's like, relentlessly is like, won't take no for an answer, right? I keep messaging him, and finally after, I don't know, 3 or 4 months of me annoying them, I get a message back like, fine, you can join, here's the link. And they sent me the link, and I went to the page, and it was like $25,000 to join. I was like, what? Never asked the price. Didn't know what, I was like, $25,000? Like, I've made $25,000 total in my entire life up to this point, and now you and I already spent that. I didn't have that money. And I was like, huh. But at the same time, I talked to Big Game, to Dan Kennedy and his team. I was like, I can't not do this now. So I was like, I'm in. And so I told them I'm in. I sent them some money that we didn't really have. And then a week later, I'm in a plane flying to Baltimore, Maryland, because I didn't know why, but Baltimore's apparently where the party's happening. Fly to Baltimore, Maryland. I get in this room. It's a little hotel room. There's 18 people in the room, and some guy with white hair who I'd never seen before. I get in there, I'm looking around, and I told everybody about it. I'm going to go meet Dan Kennedy. We're going to hang out. He's going to blow my business up. I get in there, and there's no Dan Kennedy in the room. I'm like, where's Dan Kennedy at? And then like everyone sits down, and this old guy with white hair starts talking. I'm like, who's that guy? And they're like, that's Bill Glazer. I'm like, who's Bill Glazer? It's like, that's Dan Kennedy's business partner. I'm like, where's Dan Kennedy? And like, he doesn't come to these. I'm like, oh crap. I just spent every penny I have to meet Dan Kennedy, and he doesn't come to these. What do I do now? And I was so freaked out. I was so scared. I'm sitting in this room, and all of a sudden, I remember the very first, and then it was weird, because if you haven't been in a mastermind before, it was the first time I've ever been there, right? Like, Bill's like, all right, you're up first. The first guy gets up in this little room, and he like talked about his business for like an hour, shared some ideas, and he sat down. Next guy gets up and talks, and I'm like, what did I sign up for? Like, this is the weirdest thing. They're not teaching me anything. They're not showing, like, everyone's just talking about their business. It was the weirdest thing. And I remember after 5 or 6 hours of it, I was like, oh my gosh, I get it. And I started understanding this and how it worked in this mastermind group. And I remember taking notes on every single speaker that went through. And I remember, like, because one guy, he had built a huge call center. So he had a big call center. So I'm like, taking notes, like, build a call center, hire sales guys, done. And then someone else was doing these live events. Like, they run these events, and this is how it works. So I'm like, okay. So I wrote down notes on how to do live events. And then the next guy got up, and they were doing phone sales. I'm like, cool, this is awesome. So I went through every single speaker, 18 other people, so 17 plus me, 18 people in the group, 17 other people, took notes on every single thing they did. We left, I flew back home, and I was like, I'm going to implement everything I learned, because I paid more money than I have to be in this group. And I went through, and literally in the next like 4 or 5 months before our next meeting, we launched a call center. We did a live event. We did direct mail. I learned direct mail. I did a direct mail campaign. We did radio ads. Like, I did everything I learned in that event. I came back 6 months later to show everybody. I'm like, hey, here's what I did. I went through every single thing, and they all looked at me in the room. They're like, you did everything? I'm like, yeah. Isn't that how it works? They're like, no. People usually take one idea and they try to implement it. No one's ever done everything. I was like, oh. No, nobody told me. I was like, okay, that's good to know. But that's how I am. I'm just like, I'm going to go do it, right? But because I invested more money than I had in Dan Kennedy, in that offer, it changed my life forever.
I was in that mastermind group for 6 years. It took me from having a business doing $25,000 a year to over 8 figures a year in the time I was in that program, because I was in a group of people over and over and over again, okay? Because Dan Kennedy made an offer, it changed my life. And we guys understand, like, the way you take your mission, your reason for being, and turn it into something amazing, you have to get good at creating offers and putting them out there, okay? In every marketplace, the person who's willing to make the most offers wins, okay? How many of you guys notice I make a lot of offers? Okay? Who thinks I make the most offers out of anybody in this marketplace? Yeah, that's how we're winning. That's the game. Some of you guys are sitting there for 3, 4, 5 years waiting to make an offer. It's got to be perfect. I got to focus on it. And like waiting, and you're waiting. You're like, no, just put an offer out there. If nobody buys it, nobody knows. Like, put another one. Put another one. Keep doing it. Okay? I told you guys yesterday, I'm like, we've been launching a lot of funnels in the last year. A lot of offers I put out there because I don't know. I'm looking for my next one funnel. Wait, what's my next funnel that's going to take me to the next level? I don't know what it is. But I can't just wait in the laboratory of Russell trying to build something. Hopefully someday I'll finally figure out the perfect offer and put it out there. If I do that, I'm gonna wait 5, 6, 7 years and it's never gonna be done, right? It's putting out offers. The person in any marketplace who makes the most offers is the person who wins, okay? If I ask you guys, how many offers did you make this month? How many offers did you make this week? Like, if it's not more than one, like, what are you waiting for? Put out more offers. See what the marketplace wants. The only way to do that is by putting out offers. The person in every marketplace who wins is the person who's putting out the most offers. Okay? And last time we talked about offers, I learned this also from Myron. Myron said, you don't buy things with money, you buy them with offers. And then this is how it worked. Myron told me one day, he called me up, he's like, hey man, this is the deal. I don't fly commercial anymore, I only fly private. I was like, that's gonna be hard to maintain long term. He's like, no, I'm like, did you buy a plane? He's like, no. He's like, I only fly private from now on. I was like, how do you, like, I fly private once in a while, it's expensive. He's like, yeah, I just buy it with offers. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, I decided I'm never gonna fly commercial again. I'm only gonna fly private. So if I wanna go somewhere, he's like, I make an offer to my audience, like, hey, who wants to come on my plane with me and fly for 5 hours to Russell's event? And it's gonna be whatever, $50,000. He's like, I get 3 people, it covers the gas, the flights, hotels, and the offer's paid for the plane. I was like, that's so smart. Myron's a genius, right? So we get better at making offers. Like, you don't have to buy things with money, you buy things with offers. I can't remember if I share this in my next slide or not. I don't. Anyway, I'll share this later on with you guys, but I just look at the things in my life that I want. Like, ever since then, I start looking at things differently. Like, okay, what's the offers I need to create if I want to invest in this thing, if I want to buy this thing? It's not like how much cash do I have. It's like, what are the offers I need to put out there to be able to get people in my world, okay? So I want to talk a little about offers. Offers, we could do like a 5-day event just on offers. I want to go over the core things I think are the most important, okay? So whenever you create an offer, these are there's 4 core things I think about when I'm creating an offer. And if you create the offer the right way, this is how you get offers to get people to give you money and get them really excited, okay? So the first thing to think about when you are creating any kind of offer to the marketplace, right? An offer, the very first thing is any offer I make, the thing you have to understand is when you're making an offer to somebody, the thing that you are actually selling them is a result. This is where most people mess up. They think they're selling a product. You are not selling a product. You are not selling a service. You are always selling a result. Okay, so that's the first thing you understand. So what is the result that you're actually selling somebody, right? You think about this. So here's the result. So here's you up top of a mountain. This is the result that you've gotten in the past. And what you are doing is you are coming down the mountain to figure out who are the people down here who want to have this result, and that's what you're selling, okay? They're typically, for most of us, our dream customer, the person we are trying to sell, is basically, it's us 5 years ago, right? So 5 years ago, before you ever achieve this result, and the result could be anything, right? This result could be how I lost weight, how I made money, how I invest in the stock markets, how I biohack, whatever your thing is, right? Everyone's got this result. So the first thing is like, what's the result that you are selling? Okay, the question is like, how did you figure out that result? Because 5 years ago, you probably didn't have that result, right? And your dream customer doesn't have it. If you look at the way that most people's journeys work, right? If you think about before you ever figured out this result, you're probably down here just like anyone else. You're like, hey, I want to lose weight. I want to go and get 6-pack abs. I want to get whatever, right? Or I want to figure out how to make money on the internet. Or I want to sell stocks or whatever the result is you wanted, right? You probably started on this journey. You're okay, how's it going to go? And you started going on this journey, you tried to get that result, and you went this way, and then it messed up and it didn't work, right? So you went back to go, and you started again. You went on this journey again, trying to get the result, and you messed up over here. Oh, didn't make it again. And you started again, you went on this journey, and then you messed up again, and you tried this over and over and over again, okay? That's what happens in most markets. When someone comes to you initially, the reality is, for most people, the first time they come to you is not the first time they've tried to get this result. They've been trying for a long, long time. In fact, when we bought Lady Boss from Caitlin Poland, I remember having this conversation with her, and she said, you have to understand, Russell, that the average woman in America goes on 8 diets a year. 8. The result's the same. They all want the exact same thing, right? They start a diet, they tried keto diet, it didn't work. I tried paleo, boom. I tried Atkins, I tried, whatever. They keep trying thing after thing after thing, right? 8 diets a year. The same thing true is whatever business you're in, right? Someone comes into my world, this isn't the first time like, I can make money. That's not a novel idea, right? They've been trying a lot of different ways. They tried on eBay, they tried Amazon, they tried flipping stocks, they tried this, like they're trying real estate, they're trying a million different ways to get the result, right? They come into my world and I'm like, look, like I tried real estate, that was hard. I tried, and all these things didn't work. But then what happens is eventually you guys on your journey of trying these different things, eventually you made it all the way up here and you got to the top and you got the result. And when you got the result, the thing that you got that's the most valuable of anything is that you got a map, okay? You have a map that shows how to get from here to here. So when you come back to your dream customer who was you 5 years ago, the biggest thing you're saying is like, look, I've got a map. The result you're looking for, I know exactly how to get there. I've done it. I tried this, I tried this, I tried this. And tomorrow we're gonna go deep into selling, which is my favorite day tomorrow. And so we're gonna talk about how to use this in the sales presentation. But for you guys to understand, when you're creating an offer, the very first thing you are giving people is a map to result. That's it. And if you look at what is the map is basically a recipe. Here's the steps to go to get this result, right? Step number 1, you do this. Step number 2, you do this. Step number 3, you do this. Step number 4, you do this. Step number 5, you do this. And that is the map that gets you from where you are today to the result you want. Okay? How many of you guys thinking about the product, the business, the thing that you're in? How many of you guys know, like, okay, this is my map. My map, like for me, it's like my map is I help people to grow a company using sales funnels. This is the map I have. Right? That's my map. What do you guys all know what your maps are, hopefully? You all have a map, right? And a map is basically a step-by-step process or a recipe of how to get the result. Okay? So that's the very first step in creating any good offer is understanding. Boom. Number 1 is you're creating a framework. And your framework is just a map to the result, and it's a step-by-step recipe of how they go and get that result. Okay? If you look at any offer I create, this is the very first thing I always do. What's the result I'm promising people? What is the map that I've created? What's the step-by-step framework? And that's the very first part of an offer. Okay, tomorrow we're gonna talk about offer stack slides and things like that when we get into selling. And you notice, every single time I start with the offer. The very first thing, the very first component of the offer is always the map to get them the result that we promise. Okay, step number 1. All right, step number 2 now, when I'm creating an offer, jump over here, is how we position the offer. This is probably, of all the things I learned from Dan Kennedy, probably the most important. People miss this all the time. We're putting together a product with him right now called Selling Opportunity to help people understand this because for most people in the marketplace, they position their products wrong. And this is a positioning problem, not how you create the actual product. So this is a messaging thing, which is really simple. It means you can change something out to change your entire business. Okay, it's how you structure, how you reframe things. So what you want to do when you are framing something, the 2 different versions, one is called an improvement offer, and one's called a new opportunity. Now, improvement offers are the worst type of offers because for me to convince somebody that let me explain this better. Improvement offers anything that has an ER in it. So this product, if you buy it, it's gonna help you have success faster, better. Like anytime there's an ER, it's usually an improvement offer, right? And the problem with improvement is me coming back saying, okay, look, you've been trying this paleo diet for a long time and it hasn't worked for you. I'm gonna show you a better way to do paleo. The problem is that in the customer's mindset, they're like, I tried paleo and it failed. Like, I'm gonna show you a better way to fail. Like, that's literally what you're doing. You're coming back and you're making an improvement offer. Like, it's confusing to the end customer, right? And so instead, we position it as a new opportunity, right? Like, when I launched ClickFunnels, I think about this. There's like, we were helping people get a result, right? How to grow their company. And I could have come back and said, okay, we are a website building platform, but we do it a little bit better. We do it different. We do it a little, like, if I would have positioned it as a website building platform, we would not have had success, right? People already have a website building platform. Oh, I already have a way to do that, right? Or if I would have positioned ourselves as an email autoresponder company. Yeah, we have email autoresponders. I didn't position that way, right? Those are all improvement offers. Like, we do this better than those. We do it better than, like, you don't want to position something that's better. You want to position yourself as a new opportunity. Okay? So what I'm saying is in this path, right? If somebody's coming on this path as a customer, they're trying to get this result, I'm not saying, oh yeah, you're already in this right. In fact, sometimes it's called a map, sometimes in expert seekers we call it a vehicle. So imagine right here, this is the vehicle that they're in, right? They're in the keto vehicle to try to lose weight, and they're trying to go up here to get the result to lose weight, right? So they're in the keto vehicle. If I come back and say, you're in the keto vehicle, I'm gonna show you guys a way to do it better, it doesn't convert nearly as well as saying, look, keto sucks. This is the most painful diet. It's horrible. You've already experienced it. You know it's no good. Don't want to do that. I'm going to give you guys something completely new you've never heard of. And boom, I introduce a new opportunity. Okay? I'm always positioning against everything else. I'm never saying this is a better way to do the thing you're trying to do. Like, that's one of the key things. It's a nuance that means everything. It'll change your conversions from 2 to 3% conversion on an offer to 18, 20% conversion on an offer. Okay? Because people don't want to buy improvement. That's not true. Most people don't want to buy improvement. Usually people at the highest echelon of your funnel, like the back of your funnel, like for example, everyone in this room right here, inner circle, like you guys are my improvement buyers. You guys are all trying to become better and faster and scale quicker. So you guys are my improvement offers. But the people that buy improvement are usually the bottom of your value ladder, the bottom of your funnel, right? The mass funnel, the masses we're trying to bring a lot of people into our funnel, they're looking for something new. They've tried this, they've tried all those other things, and they are looking for a new way to have success, to get the result. And so when you position it as a new opportunity, as opposed to improvement, that's when you get the most amount of people into your funnels so you can change their life. Okay? So step number one in the process, again, is understanding that you are selling a framework. Number two is positioning as a new opportunity. Okay? Third thing then is that we have this new opportunity we are positioning. We have to figure out how to increase the value as high as possible. Now, there's a concept where basically there's two ways to make your product the cheapest in the world, right? One is to have the lowest price, and the other is to increase the value. And both ways makes the product feel cheap. Now, what most people do is that they try to decrease price. They come into any kind of, in fact, you see this mostly like, if someone's selling a commodity, you see this a lot, right? Where, let's say it's an iPhone, like someone's selling an iPhone, right? iPhones cost $800, like it's a commodity, right? And the only way to beat, like, if you go to Best Buy or you go to Target or whatever, they're all selling the same phone, right? So it doesn't really matter. Everyone's got the same price. But if someone also Best Buy's like, oh, it's $800 everywhere else, but also for $700, right? Oh, that seems cheaper. So the people go buy the $700 one, right? And then it comes back like, oh, there's $700 there. We're selling for $600. And then it gets cheaper. And so you start decreasing the price to make it feel cheaper, right? But eventually you lose all the margin. Okay? And so for most people outside the funnel hacker community, what most people do is they try to decrease value to win in the game. And by decreasing the price, it's the worst way to build a business because you lose all your margin. Now, Dan Kennedy, who I showed you guys earlier, Dan taught me something that changed my life. He said, there's no strategic value in being the second lowest price leader in town. He's like, if you're the lowest price leader, like if you're Walmart, cool, there's a strategic advantage of being the lowest price leader, but there's zero strategic advantage of being the second lowest price leader. So you can't be the lowest price leader, he said, then you want to be the most expensive. Okay, so there's a huge strategic advantage of being the most expensive because you can deliver, you can fulfill more. So when we're creating offers, I'm not trying to figure out how to make this as cheap as possible. Instead, I'm saying, how can I increase the value? What else can I add? What can I do to make this offer even better? Okay? So for me, when I'm thinking about an offer, again, I'm always coming back to this. This is the result, right? So the first thing that I'm selling somebody traditionally in my offer stack, the very first thing, like I said, is the map, right? Now, I'm going to click the next phase because this is going to set up my last one, okay? Number 4 is that is you're going to build a complete offer stack, and you're going to note that each solution creates a new problem. So let me explain what that means. So I just gave somebody a map. I said, okay, here's where you are right now. This is the result you want. I'm going to show you how to do this, okay? So for me, it's like, let's just say it's in the ClickFunnels world, right? You need a funnel to grow your company. So I'm going to give you guys a map. Here's the map to build a funnel. So as soon as I give them the map, it solves the problem, right? Cool. I know exactly how to build a funnel right now, right? So I solve that problem for them. But every time I create a solution, every time I give someone a solution, it creates a new problem. So I give somebody a map. Here's how you build a funnel for your business. Like, sweet, I know exactly how to build a funnel for my business. Oh, wait, I need software to actually build a funnel, right? So then the next part of my offer then is like, okay, cool. Now here's the next thing you need to be able to actually fulfill on it, okay? And then after they have that, it's like, cool, I know how to build a funnel, I have the software to build a funnel, but then how do I write the copy for the page? Now they didn't know they had a problem with copy until they've gotten through this thing, right? So next step is like, here, now you need copy. And then number 4 is like, okay, I have copy, what's the next thing? Now I need traffic, right? So every time I introduce something into the offer, it solves the problem, but then it creates a new problem. Solves the problem, creates a new problem. Okay, if I come back to this analogy of the hiker hiking the thing, right? I give them the map to the top of the mountain, and it's like, cool, I'm gonna go hike the mountain. It's like, wait, you're about to hike Mount Everest. If you just hike that, you're gonna die. You're gonna need some equipment and some gear. It's like, oh, I didn't even know I needed gear. Cool. So by giving me a map to hike Mount Everest, now I need gear to be able to I need gear, I need a guide, I need water, I need food, I need supplies. So I'll start to open up all these other things I need. So when I'm creating an offer, my goal though, is to look at what all the things the customer actually needs. I wanna create a complete offer stack where it gives them everything they need to actually be successful to get the result they're looking for. I see people all the time where they come back and their offer is coming back and they're like, hey, you're gonna buy this thing right now and we're gonna give you guys the map to go and do it. And then that's all they give them, and then the person gets the map, they try to do it, they fail, and then they leave and they never come back. It's like when I'm creating an offer, I want the offer to feel complete. So it's like, here's all the things you actually need to go and get the result. So you got the map, you got the Sherpa, you got the walking stick, you got the food, you got all the things you need to be successful, okay? And so those are the core things I'm looking for when I'm creating an offer, okay? Again, number 1, understanding the core part of the offer is the framework of the map. Number 2 is positioning as a new opportunity. Number 3 is figuring out how to increase the value by adding a bunch of things that are important to make it better. And number 4 is as I'm increasing the value, everything that I'm adding isn't just some random thing. I'm adding the next step, all the things they need to actually be successful with the map I'm giving them.
All right, guys, what do you think about that? Are you feeling like you're like, okay, I got the strategy now. I understand the offers. I'm excited to make some more. I have a B level offer. I'm gonna make it an A level offer. I know some tweaks, some changes, positioning. A lot of times, going from like a new opportunity to an improve from an improvement off an opportunity isn't changing your whole offer. It's like a repositioning of it, right? It's taking your offer, it's not converting it, adding more value to it. Like there's all these little things that are the little hinges that swing huge doors. So hopefully that, okay, I'm in the comments. Thank you. Very, very cool. All right. I hope that was helpful for you guys and get you excited. Like I said, that's kind of it for today. What we're going to do is I'm going to let you guys go. And if you don't have an offer yet, again, let me pull the slide back up, but jump into the members area and this weekend, start going through offer secrets. This is going to be the thing that's going to help you to start creating offers really quickly. Again, course secrets is right here. Even if you're, even if you're not going to be creating course, if you just want to, I'm going to do a $7 offer or a $5 offer. It's still the same thing. You're still going to figure out what's your hot market. You got to figure out what's the framework. How do you record? Like all the pieces are still the same. Like this is one of the most valuable things I could give you to go through to figure out exactly how to craft and create your offer. And it's right here inside of the Offerlab certification area. Just click down on course secrets there, and all that is in there. So that's kind of your homework right now, and that's kind of game plan. So and then as you know, next week when we come back in, I'm going to be jumping into the actual offer playbooks or creator playbooks to show you guys all the different ways to do it. Where you're creating an offer on the front end, ups on someone's back end, or you create the back end to match somebody's front end, and vice versa. And a whole bunch of really cool playbooks to have fun inside Offerlab with offers. So hope that was helpful, and we'll get the replays for these as quick as possible. I know the video is a little choppy when we're streaming it through Zoom, but the replays will be flawless inside the members area here in the next couple days. So with that said, I appreciate you all. I'm so grateful to have you guys at Offerlab. My goal for you guys is jump in there, and even if you don't have like an offer in there yet, go do an affiliate playbook. Go grab your supplements or grab supplements. I was like, if this supplement was on there, I'd go grab this right now, make a video, post me on Instagram, do it, and it's like, just go sell something, go try something, go pitch something to your audience, go try it out, and have